Hey guys, it is me, Lanny here, back with another Dark Deception video, guys. And today, we'll be doing, this is our last Dark Deception recap and all that stuff. Now, next week, we will be giving you guys news and information on the brand new Chapter 5, so stay tuned for that video next week. But we will be reviewing the full entire story with everything happening, Chapters 1 to Chapter 4, all the ones. Without further ado, guys, let's go and hop into the video. So yes, guys, the very first one being Murder Monkeys. It's kind of confusing, but it's because not that much story into it. But there is a little story, but it happens later on in Chapter 4 when it finally gets revealed why this stage happened to us. So I'll talk about that when we do hit it. But right now, it's our very first time, getting the soul shards, the fragments rain of everyone that failed of trying to get all the soul shards. So I wonder what happened to the first person. Did he just walk in there and get the ring? They didn't really ever answer that question, but yeah, after you get all of them, you escape, but Malik sends a monkey to try getting you, but you never see him, you just hear him, and he's just a floating eye. And then you move on to Chapter 2. So yeah, Chapter 2 has two different stages, being the whole school, and being the whole school madness, I forgot what it's called, and then, the Gold Watchers, so and the manor, so, we have two different sections. So this is part 1 of the school. So yeah, in the school, the whole entire story is about Agatha, a kid filled with rage. Nobody knows who Agatha is right now, like the identity of them. But yeah. But you have to collect, more soul shards, and then you leave. But this is the very first time we actually see Malik, and Malik actually does chase us. He chases us in his a coat form. That we do see him walking without a coat, like we want to see in Chapter 3. So we don't really experience him without the cope on. It's flying cape. So yeah, that's really it about it. And then after that, we go to part 2, being the whole Golden Watchers. And the Golden Watchers, just if you look at them, they turn around. That's the whole game mechanic. I did a whole video on that before, talking about them. But yeah, the whole entire Golden Watchers is about people that are too obsessed with gold, and they're just fully obsessed with that. And then now that's what happened to them. That's the whole monster what they're based after. But no other story really actually came up to this one. Mostly it all started off, but also there was a little side story that's happened that they re-updated with the notes showing how this little girl, a little girl who was called again, experienced anything we did, but we have no idea. Not a little girl, I actually don't know if it's actually a girl or not. We have to wait and see in the future to see who that was. They're talking about in these special notes, but she'll just experience some of the stuff that we're experiencing, and also helping the player knowing how to, beat the level a lot faster. And then we get moved on to Stranger Series, the very first part of 2 in Chapter 3. And Chapter 4 is the only one that has 3 parts so far, but Chapter 5 is only going to have 2, but 2 zones, different ones. And not zones, because they have multiple zones in each chapter. I know, it's really confusing. But yes, in this chapter, you get to do with the Dread Duckies, and it's still not that much secrets about the Dread Duckies as a whole. Then we finally meet Malik saying that he is also a pet, and how we're Beerus's pet. And then, we just leave. Still, with no big story in place. Chapter 4 is when all the full stories fully, happens out. We got the Crazy Carnival, the Crazy Carnival really is. Sadly, how it doesn't have that much story to it either. I had at the beginning, it was just simple. Because we got these clowns. I guess they used to be I totally forgot what they were based after. All I know is they were rage to anger, stuff like that. But yeah, we just explore the whole entire maze, and then you see Malik again, and you have big clowns. We fight them and defeat them, and yeah. No other story implants, sadly, so far. But then we finally go on to Chapter 4. Chapter 4 introduced us to the new Reaper stage, and then that stage definitely did not have that much storytelling, but it's the next one that mostly brought it into it. In this stage, we just go to the Reaper nurses, and boom, you just defeat them too, if how long it actually took you to defeat them. And after that, we do leave after using a power move. We started using all the powers without us even playing. The character in the game use all the powers against them, without any reload time. That's some skill right there. But yeah, the new game mechanics too. That's the whole review about that. But let's move on to the Joey Joey game. Where the story was the most intense there. The Joey Joey game obviously made the story a lot more intense by introducing us, by us finally losing as a character. We lost that time. We learned the past about how the player played as Doug Hauser, and he was a terrible parent. And yeah, after that, he tried killing his wife. Yeah, because the wife, and also he wants to leave the wife to go to someone else. Definitely do not do that. That dude obviously, made the humongous mistake, and now he has to pay for it. But in the dream, honestly, it looks like he did change after going through all these zones, because he said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." But also, by accident, without him even knowing, his daughter is actually in the car too, and he ended up killing both of them, like, boom. And yeah, obviously he did not know that, but I guess that's what he kind of gets for trying to kill even his wife in the first place. But at the end of that time, he looked up some papers of how, it's like, what's going on. Some things to make a final wish, and his wish, I think, is to get them both back. So that's why he's doing all this and all the rings, to finally get them back at the end. But after we lost, we find out about that. Find out that the murder monkeys is actually one of the zones in our memory, because she said, "Oh, we want to go to another hotel and stop doing all this monkey business," because the room's called Monkey Business. But that was definitely some big story. And then we move on to Barely Buried, another stage that's really unique about us having to slowly gain back our ring charms after Malik leaves us with Mama Bear. And then after that, you slowly go and defeat Mama Bear, and also yeet all her little teddies at the end too. Like, everyone's dead, but yes, she still survives at the end. Enemies go back home with also introducing a little blue orb of light. Everyone's assuming that this is his daughter helping him, and well, we all kind of think that, but not officially released yet. But that's what we're all assuming right now. But that's really it about that. We get all ring pieces back and go back to Beerus, finding out that Beerus used to be actually a pop star, and she wanted to become a pop star. So that's why she technically sold the sword to Malik just to become a star. And once the time was up, she betrayed him and just took the ring and binded it to her, and now he can never touch her. So you can't take back the rings, can't kill or anything like that, as you see in the humongous epic boss battle. But yeah, that's technically it for this story. Tell me guys in the comments below if you are interested in the story so far, and stay tuned, because next week we'll be doing the full chapter 5 news and all things, showing you guys all so far news and leaks on chapter 5. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys all in the next video, guys. Goodbye.